communicating outwards, roles, responsibilities, and triggers. For the crisis communication plan, what we need to identify right away is key roles and responsibilities and triggers so you know how to implement your crisis communication plan should the time arise. So right off the hop, very easily, you need to identify your communication lead and a backup communication lead. If you have a large organization, this will be somebody that has maybe media training and is used to being the voice of your company. If you're an owner-operator, you're probably the communication lead. And maybe your partner is the backup communication lead. But what we need to do is we need to capture that so that they know it's their responsibility to communicate in a crisis situation. So if we look at the tool, we can actually see that it's fairly straightforward. There's slots right here in order to be able to enter the name of the primary communication lead, such as myself, Colin, and my emergency contact number, and emergency contact email, and you can continue to kind of fill this up. It also has the backup communication lead, backup communication contact number, and email address. And then this next stage is identifying when to activate your crisis communication plan. This might seem really simple, but what ends up happening is if you're faced with a crisis like a wildfire that's about to impact your community, studies have shown that we can't make decisions. Our critical thinking really goes down when we're stressed out in these situations. So why not take the time right now and figure out when you're going to activate your plan instead of guessing in the heat of the moment? So a perfect example of this, if we go back in here, is we could say that, okay, if we have a length of time of outage or interruption, then we're going to activate our plan. So we can say, okay, if we are out of commission for 24 hours or more, bang, we're going to activate our crisis communication plan. Maybe it's a percentage of sales loss. So if we lose 25% of our sales, that's a big enough impact. We need to start messaging out to our customers and our clients to let them know what's happening to our business and why this is happening. It could be the number of employees impacted. Maybe we want to set that at 50%. That's a pretty high number. A perfect example of this would be COVID, where if you have a certain number of your staff that are down, you want to start messaging out to your customers so they understand why maybe service is a little slower than it has been in the past. Percentage of key business functions interrupted, whether there's an evacuation alert or an evacuation order. There's a number of examples where you can identify, okay, when this happens, bang, that's it. We're activating our crisis communication plan so you don't have to make that decision in the heat of the moment in an emergency situation.